Leave Michael alone! What did he ever do to you? First you say he didn't kill enough people in the first film. And then you say he kills too many. What is he supposed to do? Huh? Huh? What do you want? Leave Michael alone. He just want to go home. He just want to go home. You leave him alone. Leave him alone. He didn't do anything. He just wanted to look out his sister's window and that bitch wouldn't let him, so he stabbed her. What do you people want? Huh? Huh? What do you want? Leave my alone. Leave him alone. Whew. Now that that's over, let's talk about Halloween Kills. What's going on, Dungeon Dweller? Welcome back to Dave's Dungeon. I am your host, as always, the one, the only, Dungeon Master Dave. And we're back once again to talk with you guys about horror movies. And this one I've been excited for a long time. And some of you are really taking the piss. And I mean that with all the love in my heart, because some of you are completely upset about how this movie acts. So, instead of the normal review, instead of plot and special effects and tension and gore and victim and killer, I'd like to take a little bit of time to talk about the basics, because some of y'all don't get it. Some of y'all didn't. Some of y'all are going, "This is the worst film ever." And I gotta say, what'd you want? What did you go into this expecting? Well, he just killed everybody. What else did you want? Did you want some sort of lambasting of how all the rest of them have done it to try and explain him? Is that what you wanted? Did you want them to just try some other way to explain why he is the way he is? Everybody's going, there's no closure to this film, and I'm going, no fucking shit. It's the second film in a trilogy. We knew it was a trilogy when we got involved. No shit, the middle film doesn't feel good. It's like the rest of y'all went into Empire Strikes Back and went, this is a shit film. Because there's no closure. Yeah, I'm ready to fight. You ready? I brought Star Wars into it, mother. That's right. Yeah, it's really like y'all went into Empire Strikes Back and went, man, this is stupid. They didn't do anything. Really? 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 You really gonna tell me this movie didn't do nothing? It literally showed you every person that Michael had touched. It brought every person back. It did everything it could to try to show you and explain to you that Michael Myers is a force of nature. Force of nature, okay? Not within explanation. And yet some of you are still on it like, well, man, he just didn't do anything. It didn't develop. And I'm just like, really? 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 Did we even watch the same film? Part of this, I love how horror can make us have these conversations, first off. Second part of this is, I don't want to tell anybody how they got to feel about this film. That's the first thing I'm going to say. If you didn't like it, great, you didn't like it. and that's fine. If it wasn't what you wanted, I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with anybody saying this movie had problems or issues or particular, general ways we critique film. I'm fine with that. I don't care whether you do that. But when you attack the film because you brought your kids to it and it's got too much swearing, it's not our responsibility as horror fans and as people who try to produce horror for you to try and dumb it down so you can bring your kids to it. Mr. Anderson, this one's for fucking you. PG-13 horror needs to go die in a hole. Forever. Forever. It will never be horror. It will never work. It doesn't work. Every time we've tried it, it doesn't work. So stop bringing your kids to it unless they're ready for R-rated material. I'm sorry. That's just going to have to be the way this breaks over. Because either we drive it to the place horror needs to be to scare people, or it's not going to scare anyone. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. And for those of you who are bringing your kids to horror films, what's wrong with you? I know my parents did it with me, but we talked about that. My mom was like, hey, this movie's scary, but it's fake. Are you sure you're okay with that? And she walked me through it when I had bad times with movies. And we had a healthy relationship with horror when I was growing up. And I did it at a very young age. I'm not saying don't bring your kids to this film, but I am saying don't fucking bring your kids to this film. Okay? This is not a kid's film. And yet, I keep seeing over and over and over again, review after review after review going, it's too much, it's too gory, it's too messy, because the kids were in the theater. Well, then the kids shouldn't be in the fucking theater. It's an R-rated movie. How about go home? Don't take what I like, the grittiness out of my horror, because you're scared your kids are going to get the wrong impression. Go talk to them instead. And then quit griping. Shut up. You're making it bad for everybody. Jeez. Man. And I had a good time with this film. I hate to be the guy that's like, I got some shit to say before we get off in this. But I do. I really do. Because everybody out there is going to try and tell you what to think of this film. And I'm not even going to tell you it's a perfect masterpiece and it's a 10 out of 10. When I tell you that, that's because for me, it hit all the right buttons and it got me excited. And it was good the whole way through. And I think everybody should get a chance at a movie like that. That's what I said. That's what I mean when I say it's a 50 out of 50. Go see the film. This is a 50 out of 50. Go see the film. It's worth it. It's worth every minute of your time. It really is. I love the way this movie is evolving the story of Halloween. It's not even really evolving it because this was a nostalgia trip for every person who knows the deeper lore of Halloween, because it's bringing it all back in. And part of the complaint of some of the old fans going, well, you took out all of my can and you threw away everything and all of this. No, they didn't. You just misunderstood. Actually, those are like the rumors that go along in the town. The first movie sets it up to where those are the little things that everybody whispers about and goes, well, that's just some rumor. But then this movie comes along and goes, no, even more of that is rumor. You just got to keep thinking it through. All of those 4, 5, and 6, well, she had a kid out of wedlock, and that kid, yeah, that's all rumor. It's all small town myth. What if all the other stories in this are small town myth? What if everything else that's missing is everything else that's made up? And we're getting to see the actual. Now that is doing something. That is going somewhere. And people go, well, there's nothing. Yes, it did. Because did you understood everything he did? Did you get everything he did? Were you paying attention to the supernatural element in the film? Oh, but there wasn't. Yes, there was. Yes, there was. Did you miss it? Yeah, there was supernatural element all over that film. If you don't know what a ritual looks like when it's being done in front of you, I can't help you with that. If you don't know anything about Samhain, if you don't know anything about Samhain, I can't help you. If you don't know anything about the ritual, anything about any of that, I can't help you. Except for the fact I might be able to explain it to you. But half the people weren't even interested in that. It's like, well, there's nothing going on. There's nothing going on except the stabbing part. No, there's a lot more going on. It just made a lot of people uncomfortable, and they don't like that. So they got to rag on the film because it made them feel like a piece of shit. Yeah, those of you who know what I'm talking about and can feel it right now, can feel it creeping in on you, and can feel it just crawling around inside your guts because you were rooting for those people on that day. Yeah, fuck you. Yeah. Yeah, this film draws on a lot of things, and if you weren't paying attention to them, they were about as overt as a brick. Locked safety glass, both sides, people pounding on it, both doors, yeah. It's not subtle. Not at all. And it's an indictment. It's an indictment of every single one of us going, yeah, you're a bad day away from killing someone. You're 2 bad days away from being right next to Michael Myers in a penitentiary somewhere. Yes. Every person has a darkness inside them. That is the basic belief of horror. And we're all but a bad day or 2 away from being the evil monsters we so often fear. That's what this did. That's what the whole story was. Everybody freaking out is what did it. And if you don't get the parallel, I can't help you. If you don't get that he was originally in that street and then the people of Haddonfield put him back in that street, come on, it's right there in front of you. It's right there. They're paralleled. And what's he do? Both times. What's he do? He just there. He stops the one from him overt killing him. In the case of the civilians, someone stopped someone in the past, and he had to stop it. And that's what happens. That's what happens. The violence of today was played out in front of you, and you went, oh, I don't really like it. Yeah, because that's what horror's supposed to do. It's supposed to make you feel icky about things. It's supposed to put today's problems in front of you and go, eat your shit. Yeah, it is. It really is. Okay? It really is. And a lot of people are uncomfortable about that. It put today's problems in front of us. We're so ready to hurt one another that we can't take a moment of peace, a horror film, to not come at each other. I saw it in the reviews. People were throwing shade at one another because we're so pent up and frustrated and locked down and quarantine and everything else that we're ready to explode. And it's nothing but overreaction to the stress of everything going on. And our discomfort has become paramount to being solved. Because if we feel discomfort for longer than 5 minutes now, it's like it's the whole day. All of it's ruined. And that's what I don't get. Like, people were leaving half-star reviews on this movie. Half-star reviews. Because someone brought a baby to this and it started crying. Not anything the movie frickin' did. And this is the problem with reviews. This is the whole problem. And I feel bad because here I am frickin' doing a review. Trying to say, hey, this movie's worth your time. I try to do that as a way to get you interested in things and show you new things and offer a glimpse so that you'll go, yeah, you know what? That actually was a film I might like to watch. Or not, depending on how you agree with me or not, depending on whether you understand what I'm saying. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? I liked it. I really did like this film. And it really did ignite my passion for the series again. Everything I had to say or gripe about in Halloween, I feel like they answered. I feel like it actually did more. I feel like it actually had more involvement. I feel like it actually brought the text of Halloween to life. It brought it back to life and it made it matter. And for those of you who are poor students of the first film, screw you. Go back and watch it. I was listening and reading reviews from people who were just like, I don't get it because I don't know who any of these old over-the-hill actors are. And I'm just like, they're not even the original actors. You get that? Only a few of the original actors came back. Brackett came back and Lindsay came back. Tommy Doyle was not the original actor. That was not the same one. Also, funny joke. The wife got Tommy Doyle mixed up with Tommy Jarvis, and I about peed myself. That was hilarious. That was worth it. That was worth all of this outrage. Oh boy, that was a day. That was a moment. That was so much joy in my life. She's like, yeah, remember when he beat... No, that never happened. Yeah, we had a mix-up, but it was okay. It was all right. She kind of had a moment, and it was fun. We laughed. But what I feel like this movie did well was bring the text of Halloween back to life. It really did. It made the lives of Tommy and Lindsay matter. It made the lives of everybody touched by him matter coming from Halloween. And this is where so much of the story is trying to misdirect you while also misdirecting you. It's trying to pull a double fake out. Because on the one hand, Laurie's not his target. Laurie Strode is not his victim. And the audience can't get off that. If not for the fact that she would have kept her ass inside, Halloween 1 doesn't touch Laurie Strode. The reason he chases her back to that house is because she got her Snoopy ass in his house. Not his house in the fact of the Meyer house, but in the house where he was killing people. You understand? He was over there doing his thing. He was not about to come across the street yet. She came over there and got up in his shit. That's why he tried to kill her. And this movie reestablishes that quite a bit. It really does. He follows a set of rules, and if you don't know them, if you didn't pay attention, you get mixed up and killed. And if you paid attention from the first film, the rule about kids, yeah, he doesn't break it now. He didn't break the rule. He followed through on one of his most sacred rules. If you go in his house and you go in that special place and you disrespect it, it's your ass. That's what happened. That's why he kills his first... I won't say his first kid. but his first child kid kind of deal. Not babysitter, kid. He's usually pretty good about that. He keeps it to the babysitters. He keeps it to the teenagers who don't know how to follow the rules. Everyone forgot this was a moral tale. Everybody forgot that it's when you don't do what you're supposed to do that you get marked. And he just wanted to go home. He just wanted to go look out his window. Nah. We got to go drag his ass out of the house. Put him in the middle of the street. I'm going to go ahead and lay this out for you guys. This is really where this frustrates me. Because you don't understand the stories that you love. And it frustrates me. Because you got this V of a story kind of deal. Where on the one hand, you have the hero. And on the other hand, you have the villain. And the two come together in a final clash. And that's your story, okay? That's the basics of how a story is made in the sort of coming of age, good guy, bad guy, protagonist, antagonist story, okay? The basic of a story, the basic of I have an opponent and I'm trying to do something here, okay? Horror is written as the viewing of the villainous action on behalf of the killer / villain / evil. Okay, it's our chance to glimpse and witness that evil. The hero's story, the hero's journey, the Bildungsroman, the coming of age, is the good guy's story. It's where everything goes right in the end. It's where everyone gets saved. It's where the bad guy gets stopped. The horror is where he gets to do the things that make him the bad guy. So he doesn't get stopped. The good guys don't win out in the end. And if you break the rules, you die. Modern example of this, where I think they tried to make an action film and make a horror movie, is Infinity War. Yeah, that was a horror film, guys. Endgame, action film, all the way out. Infinity War was a horror film because that was Thanos' movie. Do I need to point? Do I need to point whose movie this is? Huh? Who's doing the killing? Halloween is. Halloween. By the way, he is the shape. He is not Halloween. But we've all understood that Halloween was Michael Myers' story. It's not the story of Laurie Strode. Laurie Strode's just who we conveniently get the perspective from for 4/10 of the series. Okay. Jeez. Well, it's actually like 6/10, but who's counting at this point? It's another one. And everybody's going, oh, it's just the same old, same. It's not even the same old, same old. That was not the same trip, bruv. That was not even close. My man took gunshots. He took a lot of damage in this film. Jesus. And that's where it's like, I'm going to say this, and maybe this will make it clear. Michael Myers is to Halloween as John Wick is to John Wick. And some people didn't get that when I was talking to them. They were like, huh? How does that make sense? Let me break it down. If you think for a moment in a John Wick film that the killer, if the bad guy who's got John Wick down on his knees at gunpoint is going to win, you have another thing coming. Because he is John fucking Wick, the Baba Yaga, the boogeyman. Oh, look, are they stealing and cribbing our fucking imagery? Wow! Yeah, it's the same story but you just feel a little different about it because John Wick's killing scumbags. He's killing people that we don't necessarily feel too broken up about dying. Michael Myers is killing normal people. And this is really and you guys think this has no pertinence to this film, and I swear to God, those of you who haven't seen it, go watch it. You will see where this conversation is pertinent. Because what's the difference between the two crimes of this film? The two types of crime. What's the difference between Michael's crimes and everyone else's? He was killed in cold blood. You can bet that. Yeah, we're just as guilty. Each time we've tried to do that, we're just as guilty. That's the indictment. And you have to agree or disagree with it. And I disagree with it. I think we can safely shoot Michael Myers in the face and go to bed that night and feel good about ourselves. I think it's the people who perpetuate his survival that have the guilty conscience. But at the same time, you don't go get bent out of shape. You get in the truck with Lonnie. Everybody gets in the truck with Lonnie. We go find him. We go as a community. We take him out. And I get it. The Karen tried. And the Karen died. Spoilers. God, I'm going to put a thing at the beginning of this. It just said spoilers all the way through. I got to put that in the title because it's like, Jesus, Karen, why? Why, Karen, why? God, I was hoping you were going to make it, but you just had to go and break all the... Like, the cardinal, the most sacred of rules, you had to go and break. Wow. And then people say nothing's happening in this film. Yeah, no. Yeah, nothing's happening in this film. Nothing's going on. Just the most John Wick of scenes I've ever seen. I didn't know he took gun fu. And this is what I mean. Like, this has got me, like, beside myself because the reviews, I mean, they're just mixed to hell. Because people don't get it. And I'm at a loss because people don't get it. Because they're too far away from the source material. They don't know Halloween. They're not sitting down with the 1978 version of this film and coming back to it. Each time we come back to one of these. I sleep with this film. Understand that. Me and this film go way deeper than the average person. Okay? I fall asleep to this film on a regular basis. Because it's one of those films. It's just a comfort. And this is why I say it's not worth it to tell you what I think of this film. This film is fantastic to me. It's 10 out of 10. I might as well just tell you, I really had a good time. It was really good. But the rest of you, you're gonna struggle because you're gonna go, it's too simple. It was too one-dimensional because he's not doing what you want him to do. He was not motivated the way you thought he was. He's not engaging the way you think he should. Because you don't know him. You don't understand him any more than anybody else does. Yeah. It's almost like we had built up assumptions about what he was going to do, and this movie's working to expel those. Oh, man. And it's almost like this film will be better in hindsight, like The Empire Strikes Back, because it's going to depend on where he goes, on who survives in the end. It really is. It's really going to depend on how that last movie works. Really will. Because this film is setting up a wrap-up of all of it. And I hope they can bring it all back and make it relevant again. I mean, you've already got the introduction of the cult in Dr. Sartain, but then you've kind of let it simmer down. Now in the third film, this is the perfect time to bring that rip roaring back over the top. It, you have so much built into the ritual of. And by the way, some of you are going, "What is sewing?" And it's Samhain. And some of you are going, "That's Sam Hain." And I'm telling you, if you say that, you're going to sound like an idiot. I've been that idiot. Don't do that. I've already been corrected. It's really pronounced sew-in. Sew-in. And I'm even guessing at making sure that's the correct pronunciation. Because I've also heard Scandinavian pronunciation of it as Sylvain. Sylvain. So, I don't know. But the ritual, the understanding was, the harvest festival was a time when we make sacrifice to the spirits of the earth so that the harvest is plentiful and so that we may have what we want. We pay for what we get through sacrifice back to the earth. And sometimes that sacrifice was livestock. Sometimes it was fruits, nuts, berries in our crops. Sometimes it was kids and criminals and bad people that we just slaughtered. Okay, that's the whole festival. It's the idea that we give back to the earth, and in that celebration we receive our gifts. And that makes us all good and right with the universe, okay? The idea of the balance where, for all the light we generate, we must also generate a darkness. And all that's lost on people. All of that was kind of lost in this film a little bit. Where he is this cosmic force of so much of our harvest festival, so much of the ritual of it has fallen away. It's gone. We've lost it to modernism, so to speak. And so for that reason, the dark spirits whom we have stopped paying homage, let's say the word right, homage to, have decided to make an avatar that's going to come get it. Who will take the sacrifice by force? Because we haven't paid for our prosperity. He's that cosmic balancing force. And he's just doing what cosmic balancing forces do. It's like Jason. Is anybody really the target of Jason? Or is Jason sort of just like a general, anything in this particular area just gets fucking done? Yeah, that's the way he works, right? They're taking the specificness of Michael Myers away. That's why they got rid of the old stuff. The old stuff is about the pairing between Michael and Laurie. That whole classic genre, it's all about the sister arc. And y'all are going, well, it's so different. Yes, it's meant to be. It's going back to what the first film did and going, he was not after Laurie. He was after people. It wasn't that he killed one person throughout the film. It's that he killed 10. And then tried to kill Laurie. Jeez. He kills people he comes across, who want to cross him, who disrespect the holiday, who disrespect his house. That simple. That simple. I mean, I don't know what you want. I really don't. If people aren't happy with this, I don't know what you'd want. It hits every beat of a slasher. It hits every beat of the meta philosophical question of why does he do what he does in the way that Sartain was asking from the first film. In a much broader way, asking that of us too. Like, why do we kill? And why is it okay for us to kill? Why is it not okay for him? We're asking a lot of questions here. And I can't disrespect the movie for that. I thought it did all that in a way that kept it plot forward, if a bit jarring and weird in the way that it connected it all together. But, and that's where I shave points off and go, it's not a perfect film. It's not a 10 out of 10. But for me, it was. It didn't interrupt my enjoyment of the film. I got to geek the whole time. They threw in something that I didn't know I needed. And I literally cried at the beginning of this film. Because he was there. He was there in Loomis. It's Dr. Loomis. I miss him so much. But anyways. Holy cow. I have talked for 35 minutes. And I have given you no structured sort of argument, no sort of plot analysis, no sprinkling of the details, and just all of my vitriol and love for this film and the people who want to shit on it. So, I don't know. You make up your own mind. Watch it. That's the only thing I'll leave you with. Watch this film. Make up your own mind. Figure it out for yourself. But, with that being said, thank you so much for joining me, Dungeon Dwellers. I hope you enjoyed this review, and if you did, make sure you leave a like. I hope I made you laugh, because I really can't with some of you. I wanna put you in a headlock. Make sure you leave a like. Make sure you subscribed if you enjoyed this. We're dropping more of this going forward into the future, and I'm gonna make it a regular thing around here. So please stay tuned and make sure that you stick around and join us in the dungeon from time to time whenever I drop these. And to that end, make sure you ring the bell so you know when I drop these new videos in the dungeon. But thank you so much for joining me on these adventures, Dungeon Dwellers. I really appreciate this. I really appreciate you all being here. Thank you for joining me. Journeying me. Blah, 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 blah. Let me end this before I crash the plane. Thank you for journeying with me today, Dungeon Dwellers. I'll see you on our next adventures. Till then, stay spooky, stay safe, and above all else, stay out of Michael's house and leave him alone.